in green. As you can tell, me and Ethan have a big night ahead of us. We are both Lions fans. Lions are game one of our doubleheader. They host the Bucs starting here in about an hour and 9 minutes, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Little early start. Then we do have a nightcap, late night start, 10 p.m. Eastern time. We have the Texans at the Seahawks. Two great games that I'm excited to watch, and I'm excited to hopefully get some money back betting. Apologies if you guys were following. I know my picks. I think Ethan had very similar picks as well. I don't remember. I remember Ben disagreed on a couple, but not a good Sunday at all for the boys and sharp bettors in general. The public kind of cleaned up. It's what happens when 11 out of the 12 favorites win outright. Majority of those guys covered as well. And you guys know that, unfortunately, we do like to take dogs. We do like to take dogs on the spread. And we just got, myself included, I know you had a tough night as well. We got slaughtered. So hopefully trying to get some money back. But I will be straight up honest with you guys. My confidence is shot. College football, I think I went like 8-8. So I unfortunately had an underdog in there. So I made a little bit of money back. But just not a great betting week for a streak that I've been on for like 3 weeks now, just on fire. So my confidence in the NFL definitely is at an all-time low. But basically on the show and on this live, we just go through the slate and talk about games we like. I know we have a MLB game tonight. Is that game 7?
Game 7.
Game 7. Big night for Seattle fans. You have game 7 of the playoff. You got Monday Night Football. I believe the Kraken are playing as well in the NHL. We do have quite a bit of NHL games tonight. But yeah, let us know in the comments what games you want us to talk about, what's your leans in the NFL, MLB, and NHL, and we'll try to answer those as quick as we can. But Ethan, welcome. How are you feeling about the slaughter of yesterday in the NFL, and how was your weekend betting?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of predicted that on our live yesterday morning, and I still couldn't stay away from it. So yeah, I got killed. I didn't win a bet yesterday. 0-3. That being said, it could have been way worse. I mean, last year I was betting just, everything. At some weeks it was really good, but other weeks like yesterday, it would have just absolutely buried me. So I'm glad I stayed away there. I won on Thursday, so I guess 1-3 overall in NFL. So, it wasn't my worst week. Week 5 or what was this? Week 7 NFL?
Yep.
Yeah. So week 5 was just a touch worse than this week. So, it's not terrible. College football, same. Went 3-4 on Saturday, but then got the Louisville win on Friday. So 4-4, lost like nothing, like not even half a unit. But yeah, I mean, I think at this point, you and I just kind of maybe expect to win every single Saturday, every single Sunday. So it always sucks when it doesn't work out. Yeah, I don't know. Yesterday felt so fishy, and it's hard before the games start because, I didn't, it felt weird going into it, but I didn't know it was going to be that bad. So, it's hard to stay away from these games that you like just because you have a feeling it's not going to go well. But then after it doesn't go well, you start thinking hindsight 2020, like, damn, I kind of knew that wasn't going to go well. Why did I play anything? So I don't know. At the end of the day, I liked the Broncos. I like the Chargers. I'm not pissed at all for playing them. Little bum that I ended up playing that teaser on Miami and Denver because I actually liked Cleveland, and they were the side the entire time. Kind of glad Denver didn't get there even on the teaser because I probably really would have been kicking myself for going against what I thought was the right side in Cleveland and just trying to take the points with Miami. But yeah, turned out nothing I liked was the right side, except for the 2 leans that I flipped on from our graphic, San Francisco and Dallas. So for the graphic, dude, I don't even know how many. I might have won 3 games. I don't remember. I didn't go back and look. Still having a good year, but yeah, the graphic was horrible. And then, of course, yeah, the 2 that I didn't even really flip. I don't even know why I gave out the other sides necessarily. Anyway, yeah, big games though. I actually don't have a play yet in these games. I probably will, but little shell shocked from yesterday.
Yeah, I am as well. And like I said, it's been a sharp year so far, which was completely opposite of last year, where it seemed like from the get-go, the public was just winning at nonstop rate, and we kept trying to be sharp, and it just kept being public. And, this year, like I said, I know you've been having a pretty good profitable season in both NFL and college football, but NFL just came collapsing down. I really wish, we talked before the show, really wish it just didn't come collapsing so fast. I really wish we kind of had more of a 50-50 split between public and sharp, and it was just all straight cheese and straight chalk, and it was just unfortunate, and it was a bad day to have 9 open game spread bets and money line bets, and I went 2-7. So out of 9 games, not even crazy bets, -110s, -125s, 2-7, which is honestly really tough to do. But that's just what happens when. And I'm not gonna change my strategy. I know last year it kind of hurt me. I just tried to keep betting things that are ugly and probably shouldn't happen, but that's usually what gives you a sharp side, and it just never changed. So I'm hoping this year is just an anomaly this week, and I kind of hope we get back to normal. But yeah, unfortunately, confidence is at an all-time low. So if you guys are more confident about a bet, please let us know in the comments and give us your reasoning and what you like, especially in the NFL. It's majority of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Do you want to start NFL or do you want to jump to something else quickly?
We can start NFL, but one thing I will say quick, and I just know that for at least Denver and the Chargers, I don't know all your other bets, but I know both of us had good numbers on that. I know you took the Chargers early in the week. I think they were, -120, 125 or something when you got them. They close to like -140, 145. I used a boost, so I mean, I guess I didn't get a great number, but ultimately with the boost, I had a better number. And then, we both were on Denver -7. That game closed closer to 8.5. So, it's not like we took bad bets per se. Like long term, it's going to pay off to get the good number. So, at least we had that going for us. And I don't know a soul that I listen to, like any of the pros in Vegas that I'm constantly listening to. I don't know anybody that did well yesterday. So that kind of gives me some, how do I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but makes me feel more comfortable, I guess.
Yeah. And there was a funny tweet out there, and it said like, if you made money this or yesterday in the NFL, then you probably have an IQ of a rock. But again, it happens, and again, I wish it didn't come crashing down. I wish it was more even, but that's just the way of things. That's betting for you. Good weeks, bad weeks. I just have unfortunately had 3 really good weeks, and then 1 really really bad day. And unfortunately, my confidence just got me, and Vegas got me as well. But let's get into the NFL games. Again, it's pretty obvious to tell what fans we are. But both Lions fans. I know we both like the Chiefs last week, so we do not blindly bet our own team each week. So we do try to have some sort of wisdom and some sort of reasoning behind our bets, not just because they're we're fans with those teams. Unlike my Michigan predictions, where I just bet Michigan every single week, and it's just not a great strategy. Although Saturday worked pretty well. But Bucs and the Lions, I will tell you right now, I love the Lions, and I love them early in the week a lot. They were probably my second or third favorite bet, and I still really like the Lions here on the spread. Again, my confidence is a little shot because of the slaughter yesterday, but I still like the Lions. We do have news that Ibuka's playing, Mike Evans is playing, so Bucs are getting some guys back, or not really. Well, Mike Evans is back. I know Ibuka's been struggling with a hammy, but it looks like he will be playing. But Lions staying at 6, and I'm still just going to go with my gut. I still think the Lions is the right side here. I'm seeing a little bit of mix on monies and bets on this game. I'm not going to pay too much attention. I think that's kind of what screwed me yesterday. I don't want to change my strategy too much, but I still think Lions is inside. I mean, Tampa Bay's 5-1, one of the hottest teams in the NFL. They were tied for the best record in the NFL. Now the Colts are obviously 1 game ahead. But and Lions coming off a loss. I mean, it seems a little obvious to take a big number spread on a 5-1 team against Detroit, who is still very good. I think people all agree Detroit's still very good, but coming off a loss as well. So I'm going to stay true. I'm going to give out the Lions. I have multiple bets on this game, and Lions spread is not one of them. I'm probably going to be kicking myself when the Lions win 20-6 or whatever they're going to do. But I really like the Lions on the spread. I do have a couple props, but I'll send it to you first for your prediction on the game.
Yeah, I like the Lions as well. I didn't love last week's game. I actually did kind of lean Lions in last week's game, and I've actually given out the Lions every single week this year. But that being said, I've probably gone against the Lions more than anyone else between you, me, and Ben while we've done the show. So, yeah, I definitely don't just give out Lions all the time. But this year, I mean, yeah, I think the Lions, this is a spot for them. I don't know if I'll bet the side. I probably won't. And that's simply because we've just seen Baker so many late game heroics this season. And you would think that, those have to come to an end at some point, but he just keeps doing it. So, I don't want to take the Lions, who are, up 14 late in the game, and then here comes Baker. He scores a touchdown because Lions are playing prevent. And then, the new thing now is to go for 2 in that situation. And, now it's a 6-point game. And, I don't know, just weird things can happen, especially when you have a very capable quarterback and offense on the other side of the ball. But yeah, I think the Lions, I really think they could blow out Tampa in this game. I think it could be really high scoring and a blowout. So I'm talking, like 40 to like 24 potential. Um, I I could see this going over. I could see it just being your typical. I mean, yeah, yesterday was a very just pretty public day. And I could just see this being right along with the narrative. Lions win big in a huge high scoring game. I don't see why it's not going to go that way. Also, a reason for liking Detroit. This is, revenge. People use revenge all the time if a team's playing a team from the previous year. Lions did lose to Tampa. It didn't really mean anything in the end, but they only had 2 losses all of last season. I don't even remember who the other one was to. Do you remember? Tampa
Buffalo.
and Buffalo. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, I mean, it's the only NFC team they lost to last year. It probably sticks with them a little bit. Not that it derailed any part of their season. So, I wouldn't necessarily use that as like, oh, that's the reason I'm betting this because they lost to them last year. But, it probably does stick with them. I mean, Amon-Ra came out and said that the loss to the Ravens 2 years ago, where they just got absolutely boat raced in like week 3. He said that one stuck with some of the guys that are still around. So, it might stick with them a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I've not bet on or against the Lions all season long. I've just watched every game as a fan. Probably going to end up doing that again tonight. Might just throw some props in there because, like I said, I do think it's probably high scoring. I do think it's an offensive explosion from both teams. So, yeah, we'll play around a little bit, see if we can find some winning props, but also not a huge prop guy. So, yeah. We'll see.
I did just post I think it was an 8-legger over on my Twitter at Worst Bets of a parlay that I kind of am in love with. But yeah, going into props, I do have a couple just straight bets here. Amon-Ra is, I know he's had 2 off weeks, off weeks in regards to no touchdowns, but he absolutely feasts off the Bucs as of late in the last 3 games. Last year he had 11 catches for 18 targets, 119 yards, 0 touchdowns. In 2023, they played them twice. Once in the playoffs, where he had 8 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown on 14 targets, and then the regular season he had 12 receptions on 15 targets for 124 yards and a touchdown to go along with that. So Amon-Ra has been killing the Bucs, and I think it's just because it's the Bucs as of late have not had a fantastic defense, including secondary. I still don't think their secondary is fantastic this year. And like I said, Amon-Ra has had 2 games where he has not scored. I do think Amon-Ra gets into the end zone, and I do think it's worth a sprinkle. Again, it might be a little square just because of how well he's done against Tampa in the last 3 games. But it might be advantageous to take his yards, take his receptions. I did sprinkle Amon-Ra all the way up to 15 receptions. I know that's crazy, but he gets targeted like no other when he plays Tampa. So I really like Amon-Ra. And then I do, again, it might be a little chalky, but with how well Baker's been playing, how elusive he's been, I don't hate Baker rushing yards. I mean, the Lions are not great this year on quarterbacks that have the ability to rush. We saw Patty Mahomes had 50-something yards and a touchdown against the Lions last week. Lamar Jackson had, I think, 40 yards and a touchdown whenever they play the Ravens. So I really don't hate Baker rushing yards. And maybe if you want to sprinkle, it's plus 750. He has yet to score this year. He did score against the Lions in the playoffs 2 years ago. I don't hate Baker to squeak into the end zone there. And then Gibbs is going to be my other touchdown scorer. Again, pretty obvious here. Did not score in I think the last 2 games. Gibbs has yet to score as well. So I like, 2 straight games where Gibbs has yet to, or no, just kidding. 1 straight game He had a receiving touchdown 2 weeks ago. But I do like Gibbs to get back into the end zone, and I do like Gibbs receiving yards as well. Tampa's not great against receiving backs. Bijan had 100 yards. Saquon had 70 or 67, something like that. And it's just not the same Tampa Bay linebackers we saw when they won the Super Bowl. They lost a lot of those guys. If they do still have any of those guys on the team, they're just quite a bit older. So I do think it's advantageous to take maybe a running back rushing or receiving yards, and Gibbs is a dual threat, like we all know, back. So those are the props that I really do like. I'm not going to do anything on Ibuka just because I don't think he's fully healthy. I know it might be pretty obvious to take Ibuka with a Lions secondary that has not been fantastic, but I just don't love betting a guy his first game back from injury. I don't hate Kate Otten either, but yeah, my favorite prop is probably Amon-Ra all the way around, receptions, yards, touchdowns. Don't hate Gibbs at all. And then I think it's pretty obvious, but also that means it's pretty square is to take Baker rushing yards. I do think he's going to scamper for a couple there. And you can get him like at 20, 25. I think that's, again, pretty obvious, but I have a hard time seeing that not hitting. So those are my props for Lions and Bucs. What do you like in regards to props in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I basically like everything you just said. I went and looked at your tweet, agree with it. I think the only really scary one is the JMO, longest reception, just because I don't know. Yeah, he just has to catch it and get open. But
Right.
yeah, I like it. And for the payout, I mean, it seems really good. I forgot I was looking at this late last night, just laying in bed, and I'm probably not going to bet it, but Jahmyr Gibbs' first quarter rushing yards, 15 plus 114. He's hit it in every single game this year. Yeah. And for those that don't watch the Lions closely, Gibbs is the guy on the opening possession. Sometimes they'll flip, put in Montgomery on the second possession, and then usually goes back to Gibbs. Excuse me. They kind of see who has the hot hand. Monty had the hot hand against Baltimore, and then he kind of led the way. But usually it's Gibbs first drive, Monty second drive. Whoever does a little bit better, that's who kind of gets it more. It's usually Gibbs. I really like that if Detroit gets the ball first, because then they'll likely have 3 possessions. If he doesn't get it on the first possession, you'll probably have another shot at him getting it. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Plus 114. He's hit it in every single game so far this season. So what is that? 6 for 6. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm always drawn to, yeah, like I agree with a lot of the things you just said. Like Baker over, I think his passing touchdowns, it's high. You'd probably have to parlay it. His rushing yard seems good. Kate Otten, I like a lot. I know he was in your parlay. Amon-Ra probably has a massive day. I did do a daily fantasy lineup just for this game. I did put Amon-Ra as my MVP player that you got 1.5 times points for. Because, yeah, I think he could have just a massive, 3 touchdown day, 100 some odd yards, like you said, 10, 12, maybe, hopefully for you, 15 catches. So, yeah, I like that. Touchdown scores. I mean, I'm just a sucker for taking my shot with Brock Wright. His odds are, I mean, he's good for 4 or 5 touchdowns a year, I feel like, and his odds are always close to 10 to 1. So I feel like he's a decent bet, and I feel like he does score more on prime time than just in your typical 1 o'clock slate. Lions down to 5.5 on FanDuel.
Okay.
Interesting.
The Ibuka news.
Yeah, it could be. I also am just kind of drawn to Laporta anytime. Plus 180 on FanDuel. Yeah, I don't hate that. I think you could take Laporta and Brock Wright. Probably hit one of them and then hope for both of them to hit, have a really nice day. Or if you hit one, well, if you hit Brock, you're going to have a nice day. If you hit Laporta, though, you're going to make a little profit if you take Brock as well. So that's probably where I'll lean. I might just do the tight end, just play Brock, play Laporta, both separate. See if I can hit one. And then if we hit 2, maybe make up for our losses yesterday.
Ben's in the comments says, "Go Lions. Why does Ethan hate Hawkinson? And why is the league getting involved in games that don't matter to the script?"
Dude. Oh, Ben, you shouldn't have said that. Dude, I somehow I probably clicked on one Hawkinson tweet, and now it's just bitching Vikings fans all in my Twitter feed. That was a drop.
Yeah.
That was not a catch. I mean, it hit the ground, it rolled, he completely lost control. I know he gathered it again, but like it hit the ground clearly. Yeah. And then they're showing that Devontae Smith catch where the ball doesn't clearly hit the ground. It could have, but I mean, it's not nearly as clear as Hawk. They're like, oh, well, this one was complete and Hawkins's wasn't. And then I saw guys bitching about Jordan Mason's touchdown. I'm like, okay, well, that was clear as day, a touchdown too. They had a shot, right? Yeah. They're just bitching about 3 calls that to me were as clear as day. The refs got them right.
Yeah. When it's your own team, I understand it. The emotions are a little higher, but yeah, I definitely thought Hawk that ball moved. I did, like you had that thing with Gibbs. I did write down something that I noticed here between David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. They have alternated leading rushers each week, so 3 or 6 consecutive weeks where it was been David first, then Gibbs, then Monty, then Gibbs, then Monty, then Gibbs. So maybe Monty leading rusher here. I know I'm just a guy that just follows stupid trends that mean absolutely nothing. I know causation and correlation are not the same thing, but a little thing I noticed there. Granted, that Green Bay game, Monty was the leading rusher of 25 yards. So Gibbs had 21, but it seems like it kind of rotates back and forth. And Gibbs did have 65 yards against the Chiefs last week, so maybe Monty's due. But yeah, I still like Gibbs out of the backfield for sure. I did see people under Gibbs rushing yards. Ben back in the comments. The NFL has never had a controversial catch where teams run to the line to snap the ball for the next play. Really revolutionary stuff. That's true. That is true.
I will say too, I do have Jordan Mason on my fantasy team, and I was against Hawkinson. So yeah, I mean, I was happy with both those results, but still, I mean, maybe a little biased, but they were both called correctly. Also, I just had to say about the Lions because I meant to. Dan Campbell off a loss, 11-0 straight up, 11-0 against the spread.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Let's move to the second game. This is a barn burner, 10 p.m. Eastern time. A late boy here. We have the Texans at the Seahawks. I'm seeing the Seahawks are 3-point favorites at home. Over under is a whopping 41.5. I did see that there might be some win issues over there in Seattle, but I'll send this one to you. This is my least favorite game. I only have one prop bet. That is a 3-unit prop bet on this game, but no game side bet or total bet. What do you have prediction wise, Texans, Seahawks?
Yeah, first, I mean, Seattle just has to be absolutely buzzing right now. Just an insane night. They have, the Kraken starting here in 45 minutes, which I don't think the Kraken are going to be very good this year, but right now they're 3-0-2. They don't have a regulation loss yet. So, I mean, as of right now, a fun Kraken team. And then obviously the game 7 in baseball starting about an hour after that. And then you have the Monday night football game. I mean, dude, probably doesn't matter what happens in the Kraken game. If Seattle wins that game 7 and then it just blows over into the Seahawks home game, I mean, it's going to be electric. So I'm excited to see. I'm jealous that it's not Detroit. I so wish this was like Tigers, Wings, and Lions going tonight. But yeah, for the football game here, I still like the Seahawks. I mean, Seahawks are very public, but, does that mean they're the play? As of yesterday, I mean, probably. Yeah, again, I just don't know if I'm going to bet it. Kind of like you. My confidence is just kind of shot, and part of me just wants to put this NFL week behind me and just get ready for next week. So I just don't know if I really feel like getting involved on this game, but Seahawks is the only way I could really look. I'm just still not bought in on the Texans whatsoever. I think getting the bye off their only 2 wins of the season back to back, I just think that's a horrible spot to have the bye. Still don't trust the O-line. Still don't trust anyone on that offense other than Nico Collins. Even Stroud. I don't trust Stroud. I don't trust Nick Chubb. I don't trust the O-line whatsoever. None of the other receivers. Dalton Schultz. I don't believe in that offense at all. Seattle's been actually really good. They're going into a bye this week, so absolutely huge game. Like I said, if the Mariners are looking good by the time this game kicks off, that stadium might be nuts. It's a home game for Seattle. Tough to say if you're going to have a ton of Mariners fans in a Seahawks. I don't know, but it could just be a really rowdy atmosphere. Yeah, I like the Seahawks. I'm just not bought in on the Texans. I know Seattle. I know I was low on Seattle coming in. I know Ben was. I think maybe you were as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think Seattle's actually decent. I think Darnold's good. I think JSN is like very, very good. I really like JSN. I think Seattle's the play.
Yeah, I think I gave out the Texans on the show. I do lean Seattle right now, but I don't think I'll have a bet on the game. Just my one 3-unit player prop. Ben, it's back in the comments. Hopefully the Blue Hairs in Seattle don't think tonight's another March. That is true. We do have the No Kings going on, so which is we're not going to get into it, but it seems a little ironic there. But yes, you might be seeing some Seattle crazies there. I'll just quickly, like I said, I lean Seattle, but I'm not confident enough to play it. I also like the under, but not confident enough to play it. Just want to give my one player prop out here. I am going to take Nico Collins anytime touchdown for the Texans. I think it's like plus 160. That is my 3-unit player prop. Probably a little ambitious there, but I do have a couple stats. It's going to take me a second to jump back and forth between pages here since ESPN's slow as F right now. But the Seahawks are notorious for giving up yards and touchdowns to the other team's best wide receiver. In the game, week 1 against the Niners, you had Ricky Pearsall, which at that time still is, but was Seattle's best wide receiver, or the Niners' best wide receiver, had 4 catches for 108 yards, no touchdown, but still pretty much did what he wanted. Against Pittsburgh, I don't think this one's as nice. Pittsburgh, DK did score, but only had 20 receiving yards. So they allowed their best wide receiver to score. Against the Saints, Olave had 57 yards on 10 catches, 0 touchdowns, but still a pretty good night for him. Against the Cardinals, Marvin Harrison scored and had 66 yards on 6 catches. Again, sorry if this is taking so long. Against the Bucs, Ibuka had 163 receiving yards and a touchdown. Against the Jags, Brian Thomas had 90 receiving yards and a touchdown. And then against that was their last game against the Jags. And then let me just pull up Nico real quick. His stats after losses are quite extraordinary here. Where's little boy Nico at? My Michigan boy, by the way. 100% biased towards him, but he is by far the Texans' best wide receiver. I guess there was not much here, but what was I looking at for Nico? Last year off a loss. They didn't have many last year, but he had against the Jags 12 catches, 151 yards, and a touchdown. He had, after the loss of the Titans against the Jags, is again 8 catches, 119 yards. Against a loss to the Ravens, he had 5 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. It's just the best wide receiver. Seattle cannot cover the other team's best player. So I think it's really advantageous to get him involved. I don't hate him for king of the end zone either on DraftKings. But I do like Nico to score. I don't hate Nico receiving yards. I don't hate Nico receptions. But my only bet so far in that game, it'll probably be my only bet. 3 units, Nico Collins, anytime touchdowns. Again, sorry that was a little long. But really like Nico tonight.
Yeah, I like it. Like I said, that's the only guy I trust on that offense and really on that entire Texans team. So I feel like that team goes with Nico. If Nico has a good game, they have a shot. If Nico is held, to 3 catches and 17 yards, they're probably not going too far. Speaking of 3 catches for 17 yards, did I tell you that I knew that once I started Dallas Goedert in my fantasy league that he would just lay a complete egg? Started him. I think he went 3 for 18. Thanks, Dallas.
Yep.
Bum.
Yep. The old trouble of fantasy. I can never pick the right guy. You want to quickly jump over to MLB here?
Yeah.
Okay, game 7, we have the Mariners at the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are minus 132 on the money line. Again, game 7, series tied 3-3. No bet for me. I don't even know if I'll throw this on the TV. Maybe. I'm really haven't been paying much attention to baseball after the Tigers got eliminated here. But what's your prediction, Seattle and Toronto?
Yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth. I don't think I'll have a bet on this game, but I gave out on Daily Dinger Seattle because I just feel like it's more of a coin flip. You can get them at plus money. Yeah, I don't know. Toronto at home. I'm going to stick with just a small lean on Seattle here. And George Kirby, he got absolutely blown up last time playing. He played on the 15th against Toronto. He only lasted 4 innings, gave up 8 hits, 8 earned runs. Just got absolutely shelled. Bieber also started in that same game. He did a lot better. I think he went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, maybe a few hits. I just don't really trust Bieber that much. I trust Kirby a little bit more. I think Toronto's bullpen has really struggled this postseason. So if Kirby doesn't get absolutely bombed early, the pitching coming in later in the game probably favors Seattle. They have guys on that team that can get clutch hits like Raleigh and Polanco and some of the other guys, Rodriguez, where, I guess the Blue Jays kind of do too, but I just trust the clutch hitters on Seattle more than I do with Toronto. I feel like maybe Vlad is really your only guy that is, I guess, feared in that lineup per se. Maybe Kirk. Yeah, I don't know. Small lean. I hope the Blue Jays win. I have a future on the Blue Jays, big future on the Dodgers. And I do think the Blue Jays are a better matchup for the Dodgers, which is ultimately who I'm rooting for. So I'm rooting for the Blue Jays tonight. Hope the Blue Jays win. Really excited for this game, but probably won't have a bet on it.
Yeah, I wish I could say I was excited. I've lost all passion for baseball right now. I'm sure there's a stat out there that's probably advantageous for the unders in Game Sevens of playoff games. I don't have it pulled up, but I'm pretty confident there's got to be a stat out there. This game or this series has gone over every single game except Game One, where where they did win, but Seattle may have been a little tired for going to 15 innings. The other 5 games have been 10-3, 13-4, 8-2, 6-2, and 6-2. So it might be a little advantageous to take the under here. I know that might be a little scary to take, but it's Game 7. Pitchers are going to be pulled quickly if they start sucking. Bullpens you might see starting pitchers come out in the bullpen if you get to the 8th or 9th inning. So it's win or lose, it's win or go home. Obviously, I don't have to say that for a Game 7, but I definitely think the managers are going to be much quicker to jump to the bullpens, and I think the nerves are going to be up for batters as well, which is advantageous for the under. I don't know if there's a stat out there, but that would be my only lean for the game, is to be taking the under. It's ugly, it's gross, it's not fun, but I could definitely see this being like a 2-1 type of game. Maybe you could sprinkle this game going to extra, as we saw happened in Seattle's last elimination game, went 15 innings with Detroit. So maybe it's an extra innings sweater, barn burner. But that would be my only lean, would be under and potentially a sprinkle on extras here.
Yeah, only under that thankfully I didn't bet it, but I gave it out on Friday's game in the series. 2-1 going into the 8th. Cal Raleigh single home run, Suarez grand slam, goes to 8 total runs, lost by the hook. So that was I thought about the under as well, and I think you also get the everyone's gonna look like, oh, Kirby gave up 8 runs himself last time out. Probably not going to happen again. Probably not even close. He's probably going to throw a gem this game, probably last 5-6 innings. So, yeah, I don't hate the under at all. But it is scary. I mean, there are a lot of good hitters on these teams. So, I'm probably just going to leave it alone. But
yeah, I have no money left to bet, and I don't feel like depositing for that to bet an under in an MLB game, because I am kind of hoping for fireworks. But yeah, I mean, Seattle has 4 home run derby participants in their first 6 batters, so it's absolutely a gauntlet over there in Seattle. But maybe is an advantageous bet. We do have 5 games in the NHL. I haven't looked, and I will not be betting anything. Is there anything that you like in hockey tonight?
yeah, I did do a solo 5-minute wager video today. I broke down Wild Rangers game, Jets Flames, and Hurricanes Golden Knights. So if anyone's interested in that, go check that out. It's like 8 minutes long. It's very quick. Probably my favorite bet though from that video that I'll just say here, I like the Golden Knights -115 slight home favorite against the Hurricanes. Canes undefeated, but this is really the first test that the Hurricanes are going to have. They've beaten the Devils, Flyers, Sharks, Ducks, and Kings. I like the Kings. I'm high on the Kings, but Golden Knights are a step above LA. This is during a long West Coast road trip. The Sharks, Ducks, and Kings all on the road. Now they have Vegas, followed by a road trip to the Avalanche and the Stars before coming back home to face Vegas again. So I just don't like the scheduling spot here for Carolina. I think Carolina's going to take some money being close to a pick 'em as I believe the only undefeated team left in hockey. Um, yeah, I think Vegas at home should be a decent atmosphere, even though it is a Monday night. Probably going to play Vegas minus 115.
Yeah, hockey's tough right now for me. I don't know a whole lot about these teams. So much of my hockey betting is looking at record and looking at fishy lines. So again, when we get closer to November and these teams have a couple more games around their belt, I will be betting hockey much more. But make sure you do stay tuned over there for 5 Minute Wager, our weekly NHL show, sometimes bi-weekly. We'll try to have a couple more plays for you. In hockey, I'm not going to bet it, but just one game that's kind of staring at me. Again, there's only 6 games under 5 and 6 games under these teams' belts, so not super enough data for me to make a really strong case for. But I kind of like the Flames. They're playing the Jets, who everyone knows. The Jets are in the playoffs. Seems like every single year. Fantastic goaltending. Jets are 4-1. Looks like they're going to continue the momentum that they've had for the last couple seasons. Flames are ass. They're 1-5. 6 games in, they've won one game, and still you can get them at a short price of plus 130 as a dog. I feel like the Jets should be much more favored here. Um, Again, not a whole lot of travel, both two Canadian teams. It could be worse. So that would be my only lean just because it's ugly. But again, 5 games for the Jets and 6 games for the Flames is not great enough data for me to make an accurate prediction on that. But just based off the fishy line, I would lean Calgary. If you wanted to take them with a plus 1.5, maybe it's just a one goal win for the Jets. That prices me pretty ass if you want to take the plus 1.5. But yeah, I would probably lean Flames just because it's ugly. But again, not enough data for me to make a confident prediction on that one.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a lower scoring game as well. So don't know what the price is for the plus 1.5, but probably the way I would lean. If it's always scary with an empty net potential,
Right.
but yeah, I do think that's close to I don't know 3-2, 3-1 type game. So I think plus 1.5 is probably a good way to play it. Let me ask you this: I have not looked at all, but I know we have NBA starting tomorrow. We only have 2 games. Have you looked at all into tomorrow's NBA?
I have a little bit. I bet my King of the Court guy. Again, it's only 2 games. You have to pick one guy to be the leading points, rebounds, and assist leader of the night. That three prop combo there. Obviously, the obvious choice is Luka, and I did get super obvious, and I did take Luka. I sprinkled Luka triple double. No LeBron James in that game. It's complete Luka show. Again, even if that wins, I'm probably going to win what, a $20 free bet, some bullshit like that. But I think without LeBron and Luka's back, hopefully gaining confidence. Last year he looked shaky. He looked, you could tell that trade hurt his confidence. I think his confidence is going to be back. So I have Luka triple double. Again, that doesn't need to hit as long as he's the leading points, rebounds, and assist leader. He is by far the heavy favorite. He's point PRAs is 50.5. The next highest is SGA for the Thunder at 46.5. So again, it's super chalky, but I could definitely see Luka walking away with it. And I'm just, after yesterday's game, I'm just eager for a free bet. So I like Luka. I think it's a great game for him without LeBron to take control. Hopefully, gain some confidence against what usually is a pretty poor defensive team in Golden State. But in regards to spreads and other player props, I really don't got a whole lot. I've seen a lot of people taking Durant over points in his debut for the Rockets against his old Thunder. But that's just, I mean, that's going to be super freaking popular there. And he's a game time decision as of right now, as is pretty much every starter in the freaking NBA for every single game. But that's what I'm seeing. My only bet, and probably my only bet moving forward, will be Luka triple double tomorrow.
I kind of like Alperen Şengün for
Rebound guy.
Yeah.
And assist guy.
Yeah. Like, give me a 20-12-20.
Yeah. Yeah. That's usually what you have to go for. That's why SGA, the leading scorer in the league last year, but he also has a crap load of assists. Not a great rebound guy, but then Luka, is a triple double fiend as well. So that's kind of where you got to go to. And I do like Şengün because he is kind of all over the place. He passes the ball quite a bit, and he's definitely had multiple 20 rebound games to go along. I think he's averaging like 24 something points a game. So I don't hate it.
Especially with KD there.
Yeah, I don't hate it at all. Katie's not a rebounder or really a passer. So,
do shot attempts count? Because I'll take SGA.
Shot attempts and foul shots do count. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. How about shot attempts when you just take it down the court and don't even look to pass? Just throw one up. Just dribble. Oh, yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah. And facial expressions that look like you just got shot in the leg for a tap on the elbow do count as well.
Oh,
Yep.
so what are we
Quickly,
going to get? A 20-cent bonus bet for SGA?
yeah, exactly. That's what Lucas is going to be as well. So I definitely love the non-obvious bet, but even if Luca doesn't win it, which he should, and like I said, I'm eager for a free bet. That'll probably be $20, but it's $20, and I definitely think Luca can get a triple double. He's done it a couple times against Warriors in his career, and with no LeBron, I could see it. But yeah, you're not going to win a whole lot. I definitely do like the thought process of potentially having $1,000 free bet on Segun or something like that. Ben asked, parlaying the Seattle teams tonight.
I tweeted it out last night. Don't hate it. I honestly, I mean, the Kraken's the fear.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Mariners could get done. I like the Seahawks. I don't hate it.
Yeah. You know, people are taking it definitely in Seattle if they're not busy with the No Kings protest. But
Right. Are there sports fans in Seattle?
yeah. Supposedly the loudest stadium in Seattle is
True.
Seahawks, which is probably true, but I think that's kind of just based off the stadium's design. Quickly before we get off here, favorite NFL bets, and if you do have anything else you like, let us know.
I'll just give out Laporta anytime. Just a gut feeling. Yeah, I'll just give that one out for the Lions game. Lean the Seahawks. Probably not going to bet it. Yeah, I don't know. I want to bet tonight. I want to have a lot of action, but after yesterday's 0-3, I just don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. That's why we got on a little bit earlier, so I can figure that out.
Yeah, confidence is shot. We have about 27 minutes until kickoff here in Detroit. Ben did say Arrowhead proven loudest. They are a rowdy crowd. They don't got much going for them in Kansas City, but they do got a good football program, good fans. So,
But do they call themselves the 12th man?
It's true. It's kind of like who started the 12th man? Was the Aggies of A&M or was it Seattle?
Dude, I don't know. I was wondering that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, A&M's
like
a cult for sure, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna throw $5 on Brock Wright first touchdown plus 8,000.
Dude, like I like it.
Wow, 8,000 on FanDuel, plus 3,000 on DraftKings. So absolute highway robbery over there. Loudest at 142.2 decibel. I never understood loudest readings, but yeah, yeah, Seattle or single man sounds quite single man sounds quite to me. Yeah, you would think like an indoor like stadium would be louder if the voices and screams echoing off the ceiling, but yeah, I will agree. Kansas City is a rowdy crowd over there. My three favorite bets in the NFL. Favorite bet is probably going to be Nico Collins touchdown. I will go Amon-Ra touchdown, and I will go Gibby boy touchdown. Gibby's is pretty gross. It's like minus 190. So you're not getting much value there. And I do like the Lions on the spread. I'm not going to bet it because confidence, like I said, is shot. And I probably already have way too much money open with zero confidence. But it's our boys. We got to bet our boys. And we got to get back in the green somehow. But anything else you want to add before we get off here?
Yeah, since I'm probably not betting Detroit or Seattle on the spread, they probably both win, cover easily. It's probably over by the first quarter. Yeah, I mean, that's just how she goes. Oh, I did want to add, I already took a bet for next week, and the line's already moved, but you can still get a playable line, in my opinion. I took Baltimore. Once again, I'm back on the Baltimore train. Minus 5.5 against Chicago. Obviously, buying low on Baltimore off the bye. Lamar is back. They should have multiple guys back. Selling high on Chicago. I can't remember the last time that team's won 4 in a row, but they have not beaten anybody. Caleb sucked ass yesterday and just got lucky that they were playing the Saints. They look decent O-line, D-line, but again, they play the Saints, the Raiders, I don't even know who else. Bad team, so I took the 5.5 with Baltimore. I think they come back with a vengeance off the bye. I mean, this is do or die. If they don't win, their season's over against Chicago here at home. So I took 5.5. It's all right at 6.5, even 7 at some places. Unless the public is all over Chicago, I bet this goes to like 8.5, 9 before kickoff. So got ahead of that. Really like that bet for next week.
One more bet, not in the NFL, but college football that I've already locked in. It's just beautiful for how me and you think. And again, confidence is low, but our college football seems like it's still kind of working over here. But we have number 11 BYU off a huge win against Utah, which I was on Utah pretty heavily. That was a painful loss there. But BYU, like I said, 7-0. There's only 4 undefeated teams in college football. Traveling to 2-loss unranked Iowa State. Iowa State is a 2.5-point favorite. I've already locked in Iowa State on the money line. I think that line is going to get up to 3.5. If you want to take the 2.5, sure. I just mess around with money line. I think I got it at -140. Iowa State money line against the undefeated and America's sweetheart BYU. I love it. It's probably my favorite bet of the weekend in college that I've already locked in.
Like it. I'm seeing Washington as well.
Washington's a favorite. Don't hate that. Really short line in Texas A&M, LSU. LSU off another loss. A&M's only a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Oh, there's another one that I did like. We do have a big one for me and Ethan. It's our boys playing each other, Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan State.
That's this week?
Yep. Michigan State's a 14.5-point home dog. I am terrified. I think I'm probably going to take State on the spread. Going to be the first game I have bet against Michigan since last year's Ohio State game. Currently 0-1 in those bets. But yeah, this is a huge this is Michigan State's Super Bowl. Michigan State sucks. They're 3-4. They're battling for being bowl eligible. Michigan off a good win. Yeah, it's a really bad spot for Michigan, to be completely honest with you. These guys are back in the rankings as well, and they go straight to their head. I hate it. I don't think they deserve to be number 25. I really wish they were unranked. But the committee keeps giving Michigan a bigger head than they have. So yeah, I'm terrified for that game. I think it's a great spot for Michigan State. I'll probably take Sparty on the spread.
I will say Sparty lucked out by getting the 7:30 Eastern start time because it's going to be rowdy in East Lansing. I mean, they like to party, so I think that plays into their favor, but God, they're so bad. I will say I just heard today, and I know we're going long on college football here, but believe it or not, I heard today that as far as true power ratings go in college football, Penn State right now, neutral field, double-digit favorite over Georgia Tech, currently 7th in the nation.
Jeez.
So I'm looking to fade Georgia Tech this week. I heard that they are outside of the top 30 in college football. They're 17.5-point favorites against Syracuse. I know Syracuse is kind of tough to back now with Angeli out, but I don't know. 17.5 does feel like a lot for a team that I don't know that have they really gotten much separation this year? I don't think they really have.
Syracuse?
Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Probably against the no-namers, but I will say I'm thinking I'm going to take North Carolina money line. I know we talked about this briefly, but I think I'm going to take Chapel Bill money line over Virginia.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Virginia's ass, man. They're not number 16.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, outside of smoking Gardner Webb by 47, they beat Colorado by 7, Clemson by 3, Temple by 21, but that's Temple. Wake Forest by 1 in overtime, Vatech by 15, Duke by 9.
Okay.
And Duke shot themselves in the foot over and over and over.
Yeah, I kind of like the college slate, man.
I do too.
Texas, Mississippi State. Mississippi State's 6.5-point dog. Oh, Oklahoma's 4.5 against Ole Miss.
Yeah, I want to just keep fading Ole Miss, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, we can go forever on college football and NFL, but we got 20 minutes of kickoff here. I'll let you guys go so you guys can finalize your bets. I'm going to quickly make some good old-fashioned, unsalted, unpeppered white rice and ground beef for dinner. Yum.
Wow, yesterday it was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't gone to the store in 3 weeks, and it's just I was looking under the kitchen counter for crumbs for lunch today. But I appreciate you guys. We'll be back live on Wednesday talking about the whole NFL slate for Week 8. We'll be back on our Friday show for college football. We have UFC, MMA. We have EPL soccer, which Aaron's killing it over there. We have baseball. Like I said, we'll have the World Series after tonight. And then we will be trying to get more NHL for you guys and maybe even some our NBA for you guys if that's starting on Tuesday tomorrow. But we appreciate you guys. Go Lions. Good luck, everyone. And hopefully you can get some money back if you lost as bad as we did yesterday. But we appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe over here on YouTube.